Today we're talking about self-sabotage because it can be so frustrating to really want a result and you put in all that time and effort, yet you constantly find yourself being your own worst enemy. So the first big reason for self-sabotage is simply the fear of change, because change can be scary, and one of the things to know about it is that we're always going into unknown territory, especially if you're going towards an objective that you've never really had before and you're not really comfortable with the changes happening and you're not entirely sure you can have it. So self-sabotage helps you feel more in your comfort zone and secure in what you already know, even if it's not in your best interest. A second leading cause of self-sabotage is the loss of a payoff. We have bad habits for very good reasons. So oftentimes changing and ascending to a higher level of yourself, be it in fitness and business or whatever, even in a relationship, means that you have to give up something that you're still getting a good payoff for. So if you can identify what is the payoff from staying overweight or not being as strong as you want, whatever that payoff is can help you identify the real cause of why you keep self-sabotaging the habits you need for the changes you want. Lack of self-confidence is another big driver for self-sabotage, because if we don't feel we have it within ourselves to become bigger, faster, stronger, richer, happier, whatever, and you're always telling yourself in the back of your mind, I'm not that kind of person, or I'm always the kind of person who does this sort of thing this way, then you're basically building off of this identity and holding yourself back. And whenever you're self-sabotaging, you're basically saying, I can't make that happen on my own. I'm much more comfortable in this other behavior pattern, even though it may not be the best thing for you. It's what you identify with. Perfectionism is another big common one that I have folks running into quite often. It's like, I gotta have the perfect diet. I gotta have the perfect workout program. And often perfectionism is just kind of a coping mechanism to prevent ourselves from taking action, or a fear that if I don't do it perfect, then I'm gonna screw something up. But the reality is that, remember, you don't get results by doing things perfectly. You don't even get results by doing things correctly. You just get results by doing things better than what it is now. So what if you have McDonald's every single day of the week? If next week you have McDonald's only 3 days of the week and healthier meals the rest of the time, that's still improvement, and it's only going to be better from that on out, because you don't need to be perfect to get results. You just need to be better than whatever your normal state is now. Another big reason for self-sabotage is unrealistic expectations. We see examples of this like in social media, or even just a friend might have some 1 in a million transformation in their lives, and we think, okay, that's what dieting does, or I'm supposed to be able to see these changes in my body by working out in the gym twice a week for 6 months. But the reality is that most of the time changes are much more subtle and a lot slower than we usually think they should be. So when the change, even though it may be coming slow and steady, we feel like it's not enough and not necessarily worth it, and we're doing something wrong, and therefore we'll self-sabotage to get our kind of a get out of jail or a back door, even though what we're doing is actually well within the realm of expectations and reality. Couple this with also a lack of patience. I get emails sometimes from folks saying, okay, I've been working out for 3 months, but nothing really has changed. What am I doing wrong? Or I've been doing this diet for 6 weeks, but how come I don't have abs yet? And the fact is that most of the time, whatever we're trying to accomplish is probably going to take a lot longer than we think. But don't let that be a frustrating point, because lots of times what we want is actually a much bigger objective and far more rewarding than we initially think. And it's just going to take longer to make much more important and bigger, more rewarding things happen. Procrastination is one I've certainly struggled with myself in the past, and usually this is due to the fact that we think that the habits we need to adopt in order to achieve our goals are so much more difficult and harder and a massive sacrifice, and we don't really want to do those things, and so we keep putting them off, and then like, okay, I'll start the diet next week, I'll go to the gym next month, or once this project at work is done and the kids move away to college, then I'll start to do it. But the fact is that most of the time, we don't need to push ourselves nearly that hard to get the ball rolling. And the longer we put things off, the more work it's going to take and the longer it's going to take to get those results. So the procrastination aspect is more of, again, a defense mechanism against sacrifices that aren't always all that necessary. And usually just getting the ball rolling is a lot easier than we may think. Another one that I used to struggle with is feelings of unworthiness. And I partially blame our fitness culture and social media for this, of always showing this rosy colored image of the people who are in shape or the people who have this type of success are like perfect and they've got the perfect lives and everything's great and stuff. And then you look at your own life and your own habits and you think, but I'm not even close to that level, therefore I'm unworthy of those type of results. But the fact of the matter is that whoever has the result you're after still has the same problems you do. They still fight with their wife or girlfriend or husband. They still struggle with self-esteem issues. They still have procrastination. And whatever things you see as a negative upon yourself, know that is common for every human being out there. And you don't become this magically super uber impressive individual just because you lose weight or build muscle or whatever your objective is. You're just having a little bit of an upgrade of what kind of person you already are, but you're still fundamentally the same individual, just with a little bit less body fat. And the last two is a fear of failure. Fear of failure is very, very common. It's like, well, why would I invest all of this time and energy and effort only to come up short and always come back? And the answer to this I find is, remember that one, the only true failure is to just totally give up and not even try. So if you're still at least trying and putting in some sort of effort, you're not failing. And two is that you don't necessarily fail by achieving a specific goal. The objective, especially with health and fitness, is to simply have improvement over time. And I don't care if you can go from just 1 push-up to 3 push-ups over the course of a month, or you just make the smallest little improvement in your diet, you're still moving forward and still achieving constant ongoing success. And as long as you have that constant improvement to any degree, you're going to keep failure at bay permanently. And coupled with the fear of failure is, ironically enough, the fear of success. And this is because we are going after, again, something that we don't know about. And we're worried about, what's that going to entail? How am I going to be a different person if I do achieve this success? What if I achieve that success and it's not going to be the life-changing, completely altering state that I think it is? To which point I say, we have to have some degree of courage. Always remember that big changes in our lives are always a terminal process. You're going to become a different person. The habits you have, the outlooks you have, the beliefs you have now, some of that is going to have to die off in order to achieve a higher level. But I promise you, it's going to be like shedding old dead skin. It's going to be a liberation. It's going to be something that's going to be well worth the getting rid of the excess baggage that's been holding you back. And when you do achieve that level of success, you're going to be very proud of yourself, and it's going to be very much worth it. So if you had the tenacity to make it to the end, check out these videos here for more on boosting self-esteem and self-confidence. And thank you very much for watching. Like it, share it, all that good stuff. Very much appreciated for the view. Be fit and live free.